Ahoy there, 7 days of European football coverage coming up. Now the week began, as you probably saw, in the saddest way possible. Footballer Piermario Morosini collapsing and dying on field during a second division match in Italy last Saturday. Gazzetta calling it a blow to the heart of football. The Italian FA suspending all matches last weekend as a mark of respect, and the story dominating the Italian papers as they embarked on the usual and indeed usually fruitless search for reasons why. The fact that Italy has already got the tightest controls around on players' health and, as the Gazzetta points out, has already reduced the numbers of deaths of this kind by 90% over the last 2 decades just makes Morosini's fate even harder to comprehend. Well, elsewhere in Europe, the news was dominated by the Champions League. 2 semi-finals, of course, and 2 defeats for the Spanish. Now, first up was Mourinho's Real Madrid, who lost a game and several pairs of shoes, controversially, at the Allianz Arena. Thieves indeed making off with 2 pairs of Cristiano Ronaldo's and 1 of Ozil's boots, and leaving Fabio Coentrao with 2 left ones, judging from his performance. Coentrao, indeed the major culprit in a 2-1 defeat that caused shockwaves all over the continent. L'Equipe, Bayern 2-1. This is beyond Real. The return match should be époustouflant, breathtaking. In Holland, 50 years of Tupperware. In other news, late strike keeps Bayern in race, and Gomez staying fresh in the box as well. In Germany, meanwhile, Bild has Real bullied by Bayern, and inside they stick the knife in a bit. They say it's not Madrid, it's Matrit. Trit meaning kick, because that's all Real do, says Bild, especially Marcelo. So Deutsche, equally uncharitable. It's the 10th time Real Madrid travel to Munich, says the paper, the 9th time they fly home with a defeat. Even FSV Mainz don't have such a lousy balance sheet. And Tagesspiegel, in the last minute, the headline there, they say this is therapy for Bayern Munich fans. They now have a European dream to follow and don't have to go around barking like mad dogs after Dortmund. Yes, this, of course, in a week that saw Bayern conceding the title to Borussia Dortmund, a point indeed that was emphasised by Dortmund's own mascot, Emma, this large bee here, who was discovered by Bild relieving herself on Bayern's bus, quite literally filling her up with BP. Well, while the German press confident anyway that Bayern can thus be at home at the Champions League final, the Spanish equally optimistic that their side won't be. As here with the Bernabeu will decide. The boot will be on the other foot come next Wednesday, although I think it already is in the case of Ronaldo and Ozil. Front page of Marca, meanwhile, celebrating the golden goal, Ozil's away strike, which gives them that little margin of hope for the return leg next Wednesday. Inside, though, Marca's editorial rather less cocksure. There are things that do not change, says the paper. Germans remain Germans, and Bayern remain the eternal nightmare of Real Madrid. Well, while all this was going on, over in Catalonia, the papers were having a right old chuckle at Real's misfortune. Madrid de Peña, Madrid were atrocious, says El Mundo Deportivo. They were embarrassing. Sport, meanwhile, have Mourinho pays the price for being too defensive. As for Cristiano Ronaldo, he went missing. Yes, I know, just like his boots. And these papers stayed chuckling right up to Wednesday evening when Barcelona themselves went and lost their semi-final at Stamford Bridge. Now this time, surprisingly, there was nothing atrocious or embarrassing about their defeat. Instead, says Sport, play on like this, Barca, you will reach the final. El Mundo Deportivo, meanwhile, with the shot of Messi looking a bit dumbfounded, and it says, this calls for heroics. Barcelona let Chelsea off. Now the Camp Nou must bring justice. They note, intriguingly enough, that Chelsea have now become Pep Guardiola's bête noire, a bit like Bayern are Real Madrid's, the one team that Guardiola has not beaten among the 55 opponents he's faced so far. Now, of course, we've got the Clásico coming up this weekend between Barcelona and Real Madrid, but the Madrid press is surprisingly sympathetic given that. Marca's reaction to Barcelona's defeat, indeed, bloody post. They say Barcelona played all the football, Chelsea got the win, and they have the possession stats here. Barcelona 77%, Chelsea 23%. They call it scandalous. AS, meanwhile, compare Barcelona's repeated attacks to Sisyphus rolling eternally his rock up a hill, only to see it roll back down again. Brian. A classic myth that, and Barcelona certainly had plenty of those on a Wednesday night. A night indeed when, according to Marca, football turned its back on them. Well, more semi-final fun to come in the Champions League next week. We'll finish for now on another bit of German news. Here we go. 2.5 billion euros. It's a massive new TV deal for the Bundesliga. Yep, it's up 50% on their old deal, courtesy of Sky Deutschland, so stand by for lots of super Sonntags. Still way short of the Premier League's TV income, but says the Bundesliga boss here, it'll make them the new number ones in Europe for economic stability. Bild agree. This will mean more stars at more clubs, says the paper. Messi in the Bundesliga, it could happen. The money is soon going to be gushing. Well, so will the pundits, if the English experience is anything to go by. Yep, the budgets won't be tight. The trousers will be. All that kind of thing. An exciting new paradigm awaits then in Germany for us in 7 days' time. More papers. Do make sure you join us then.